Sometimes, your first love doesn't feel like a beginning. Sometimes, your first love is the first time you learn what it feels like to break. The first time someone calls it love, while slowly teaching you to doubt yourself, to question your worth, to confuse chaos with passion. Tonight, we're talking about what happens when your first love was pain. Welcome back to Billy Healing Corner, a quiet space where we sit with the stories that shaped us, especially the ones we never fully understood. In each episode, we listen to a real message from someone who's still carrying a silent ache. And then, we gently unpack the layers together. Tonight's message is from Lena, a woman whose first experience of love didn't build her up, it broke her down. Years later, she's still trying to understand why that relationship follows her like a shadow. Let's listen to her voice message.
Hi, Billy. I don't really know how to start this, so I'll just say it plainly. My first love hurt me more than anyone ever has. When I met him, I was young and I thought, wow, this is it. This is the movie kind of love. He was intense, charming, jealous in a way that felt flattering at first. He'd say things like, "I've never felt this way about anyone," and I believed him. In the beginning, he made me feel like I was the only person in the world. He texted all the time, wanted to know where I was, who I was with, and I thought that was caring. But slowly, it started to change. The same attention became control. If I didn't reply fast enough, he'd say I didn't love him. If I wanted time alone or with friends, he'd say I was selfish. He'd raise his voice, say hurtful things, and then apologize with, "You know how much I love you. You know I just get scared of losing you." I started to think everything was my fault. If he was angry, I must have done something wrong. I stopped hanging out with my friends, stopped doing the things I loved, just to keep the peace. And the scary part is, I thought that was normal. I thought that's what love was supposed to feel like. Intense, dramatic, always on the edge of falling apart. After a few years, I finally left. Or maybe, my body left before my heart did. And now, it's been a long time, but I still feel the impact. Every time someone new shows interest, I wait for the turn. I wait for them to snap, to change, to show me the side that hurts. I overthink every text. I assume everything is my fault. And a part of me still hears his voice when I try to trust someone. I guess my question is, how do you heal when your first experience of love taught you to be afraid of it? How do you stop expecting pain every time someone says, "I care about you"?
Lena, thank you for sharing this with us. What you just described is something a lot of people live through, but rarely put into words. First love is powerful because it becomes the blueprint. It's the first time your heart experiences that rush, the hope, the butterflies, the "finally someone sees me." But when that first love is also your first experience of control, manipulation, jealousy, and emotional chaos, your heart gets wired to associate love with fear. The brain is a pattern-making machine. It learns through repetition. So if your first "I love you" came with, "Where are you? Why didn't you answer? If you loved me, you would," then love becomes something you have to prove, not something you get to rest in. That's not your fault. That's conditioning. That's your nervous system doing its best to survive what it didn't understand at the time. When your first love was pain, you don't just walk away with memories. You walk away with beliefs. Beliefs like, if someone is jealous, it means they care. If they're not intense, it's not real. If I make a mistake, they'll leave. If I want boundaries, I'm selfish. So now, when a kind, stable person enters your life, part of you might feel bored. Safe feels strange. Gentleness feels suspicious. Consistency feels fake. Not because it is fake, but because your body doesn't recognize it as love yet. Instead, it recognizes chaos. The late-night arguments, the crying and then apologizing, the feeling of walking on eggshells and calling it passion. But that wasn't passion. That was nervous system activation. That was your body living in fight or flight and calling it romance. Lena, you're not broken. You were trained. And what's been trained can be retrained. You said something really important. I wait for the turn. That moment when someone goes from sweet to sharp, attentive to distant, loving to punishing. So what do? You scan for danger. You overthink every message. You assume you did something wrong. You brace for impact in a relationship where no one has even swung at you. This is what trauma does. It makes you prepare for storms even on clear days. You might also notice yourself attracted to people who are emotionally hot and cold, dismissing people who are calm and predictable, mistaking anxiety for chemistry and peace for something's off. But the truth is, your body is just more familiar with fear than it is with safety. So, how do you heal when your first love was pain? You don't start by forcing yourself to trust someone new. You start by learning to trust yourself again. Because somewhere along the way, that relationship taught you to betray your own feelings. Every time you felt, this doesn't feel right, you were told, you're overreacting. Every time you needed space, you were told, you're selfish. Every time you pulled away, you were pulled back in with apologies and promises. So now, healing looks like this. 1. Believe your body when it whispers. When your chest tightens, when you feel sick before seeing someone, when you feel small after talking to them, believe that. That's not drama. That's data. 2. Redefine what real love feels like. Real love is not constant anxiety, jealousy, confusion, or guilt. Real love is calm, clear, consistent, and kind. You won't just know it with your mind. Over time, your body will start to exhale around it. 3. Let go of the idea of closure from them. The person who hurt you cannot be the one who heals you. They may never apologize. They may never admit what they did to you. Closure isn't them finally saying, I'm sorry. Closure is you saying to yourself, what I went through was real. It hurt, and I didn't deserve it. And then choosing, again and again, not to live like that is the only kind of love you'll ever get. 4. Speak kindly to the version of you who stayed. Instead of asking, why didn't I leave sooner? Try asking, what was I hoping for? You stayed because you were loyal. You stayed because you believed in love. You stayed because you thought if you loved them enough, they would stop hurting you. That doesn't make you foolish. It makes you human. Forgive the version of you who didn't know better. You're not that person anymore. To anyone listening tonight who knows exactly what Lena is talking about, if your first love was pain, you are not doomed to repeat that story forever. Your heart is allowed to learn a new definition of love. Love that doesn't make you earn every breath. Love that doesn't punish you for needing reassurance. Love that doesn't shatter you and then call it passion. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is let your body experience what it has never known before. Love without fear. Take a deep breath. Let the music remind you. You are not the same person who got hurt back then. You're allowed to want better now. You're allowed to wait for gentle hands. You're allowed to be loved in a way that doesn't cost you yourself. This is Billy, Healing Corner. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling with me tonight. I'll see you in the next story.